So we're going to go over the Chapter 8-9 test. Most of you did awesome, but just to make sure in case you missed anything. So for this first one, we have a solid cylinder of radius 0.35 meters. It's released from rest from the height of 1.8 meters and rolls down the incline as shown. What is the angular speed of the cylinder when it reaches the surface? So most of you, like I said, did pretty well with this. So common mistakes we'll go over as well. One of the things is that you had to know that I was equal to 1/2 mv squared. If you mr squared mv squared. 1/2 mr squared. If you missed that, we knew r was equal to 0.35 meters. We knew the height. I had people not show me the givens, and it's like I have no idea what you plugged in, so I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And we know it starts from rest, so you really should have said V naught is equal to 0. And we're trying to find, in this case, the angular speed, so omega F. I guess you could say, so omega naught was 0. And most of you rightly figured out that mgh is equal to, because you had potential energy at the top, is equal to 1/2 mv F squared plus 1/2 I omega squared F at the bottom. So most of you figured that part out. Let me move this up. And so then you had to solve it, and almost all of you could do this, so I will just do it real briefly. So you ended up with mgh equals 1/2 m. We changed this into omega, so it would be r squared omega F squared plus 1/2 m r squared omega F squared. And so the m's all cancel. Boom, boom, boom. You couldn't get rid of the r. I had a couple people do weird things with the r. But you end up basically here with gh is equal to 3/4 r squared omega F squared, right? Because you had a half here and a fourth here, so that's 3/4. And then r squared omega squared. And so then when you solve for omega, you have to bring that to the other side. So you got 4/3 gh, and then divided by r squared and take the square root. Some people did it different ways, right? But in the end, that was the what you needed to have. Show the numbers you're plugging in. I know it's a pain, but that way I can see where the mistake is. So 4/3, I use 10. A lot of people use 9.8 times 1.8. I know technically we should use units, but I can survive without the units if they're someplace. You got to be careful with that because sometimes the units will come out wrong. And so when you plug it in, you end up with about 14 radians per second. As far as the explanation, I had a lot of people not say it. I had a lot of people say it, so awesome. But I did have maybe 20% of you not say conservation of energy. That was the most important word you could say. Now, you really should say a little more, like it had potential energy at the top and kinetic energy at the bottom, and they just convert from one another. But this was a key phrase. Missing this, and I took off points because you can't just say, well, we just know mgh equals 1/2 mv squared. No, we don't. This is not a given statement. It just works for this particular situation because of conservation of energy, and that you have potential energy at the top and kinetic energy at the bottom. All right. So this was the one with the string wrapped around the pulley. So most of you did really well again with this one. So we knew in this case that I is equal to 0.2 kilograms meters squared, and we had alpha. So that was 2 radians per second squared. And we knew the radius, so r is equal to 0.05 meters. And we were trying to find f, and so you all said, oh, well, f r equals I alpha. And so F is equal to I alpha over R, and then you plugged it in. Not so difficult, but you did have to say something about that I can be, the very minimum, you could say, well, that torque has two different equations, and torque can be equal to I alpha, and torque can be equal to F times the lever arm, and therefore you can set those two equal. I took that. You could also say, using Newton's second law, the only torque being applied to it is F times R, so therefore I alpha equals FR. That was even better, right? If you say something about the second law. But I would take any of those because it at least showed me where it came from. Again, this is not a given equation, so you have to show me where it comes from. For number 3, there are a couple different ways you could do number 3. Some of you went the easy route and some of you went the hard route. Let me show you the easy route because this was not a this was not a 5-step problem with a multiple choice question. You could just show the kinematics equation. So you basically just could have done theta is equal to 1/2 omega naught plus omega f times t, and you had everything. So you just did 1/2 times, what did it do? Went from 5 to 9, so 5 plus 9 times 3. So if you do the math, that's 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. So the answer was 21 radians. For number 4, most of you are correct with this one. If you realize it increases, and it increases, you have to say something about VT is equal to R omega. And what that means, that is your radius goes up, right? Your tangential velocity goes up. Again, well done. This one, I was surprised at how many people were bad with the explanations. Most of you figured out this was the answer. But then it was like, why? And not that all of you didn't figure it out, but if this is the axis of rotation right there, then you can see that F4 and F1 are going to be 0, but you can't just say they are 0. You have to say because they go through the pivot point. Or I guess flipping physics must use axis of rotation, but that's fine. So since something about F4 and F1 go through the axis of rotation, therefore their lever arm is equal to 0 and their torque is equal to 0. So that puts them at the bottom down here. Torque 3 is more than torque 4, so F3's, I guess we should say torque 3 is greater than torque 4. That does not look like a torque sign. But torque 3 is greater than not torque 4. Goodness. Torque 3 is greater than torque 2 because torque 2 is at an angle. And so only a component of it. So only a component creates torque. And some of you talked about equations and stuff like that, but that was basically what I wanted to see, is that you realized it was at an angle, so therefore it's only one of its components, which is less than the whole of the force, is going to apply torque. So you can see that F3 is going to apply the most torque because it's perpendicular and all of its force is causing a torque. This number, my number, what is that, number 6? My number 6 is the one that a lot of people messed up of why. A lot of people got the answer, but not for the right reason. It was like, okay. So if you look at these, you could say that this one, right, is got an F net of 0, doesn't it? Right? 3 and 3. And this one doesn't have any net. That F net is not 0 for number 2. This one doesn't have an F. So you knew you could cross off that one. You could cross off that one. This one's 3 and 3, but this has an F net of 0. And this has an F net of 0. And you guys could kind of see it, but you had to be able to say it in words because you had to realize that this was the only one where the net torque was 0. So you had to say the net torque was 0 and the translational F net was 0. The lever arms you can see for this one and this one are the same. This has no torque, so it doesn't matter, and they're going opposite ways, so they cancel. But on every other case, you could see that it wouldn't. And I think you guys saw that, but you didn't use the right physics words. So key is F net was 0 and torque net was 0. You had to say both of those or you didn't get full points for it. This one, most of you realize you just had to rank it by mr squared. And when you do that, right, you had to be careful of what you did, but A was 10r squared and B is 2 times 4r squared, so it's 8r squared, and C is 1 times 9r squared, so it was 9r squared. So you can see 10 was the biggest, then 9, then 8, A, C, B. Most of you got that. I had a few people mess up the math. I had a few people get the right answer and still rank them wrong. I wasn't sure what was up with that. This one was the one a lot of people missed, and that's why I put it. This is a multiple choice from one of the new AP release multiple choices, and I like it because it really makes you think. So you had to realize it needed a positive slope, but you had to tell me why. So I was okay if you just said more torque equaled a greater change in, or maybe a greater change in omega over t, or a greater alpha, so that would mean a positive slope. You could have said torque is equal to I alpha. That is the best way to put it because you're using a math equation to show that they go up together. So you had to show something about why it's a positive slope. But then you had to figure out, so positive slope only rules out that one. That really doesn't help a lot, right? But what you have to notice is this one starts at the origin, this one starts past the origin, and this one already was moving. But if you read it carefully, it says the blocks are released, and this is where you had to be really careful. The blocks are released from rest. All right, so it has to start at 0. So that rules out this one, right? Because it's released from rest. And then the other catch was there is considerable friction, right? We're always saying, oh, ignore friction, ignore. Well, because there's friction, it takes some amount of force here to get it to move. So that's why this was the answer, was because it took some amount of force to get it to move. Otherwise, it would have been moving already, right? So that couldn't have happened. And this one would show that there was no friction because when you immediately put torque on it, it started to move, which is what we've normally seen. I mean, everything we've seen that I've done in class has had no friction, and so we've seen this one. That's why a lot of you picked it, right? But that's not the right answer. It's one showing friction. This one most people did really well on. You just had to add up the torques, so it was just sort of the net torque was, and then you had to realize that this one is going that way, this one's going that way. So those are negative torques, and this one was a positive torque. The easiest way, because they're all the same lever arm, would have been just to do 60 minus 40 times the radius is the net torque. So that gives me 60 minus 80, so that's negative 20 times 3.8, which if you do the math comes out to be negative, but it asks for magnitude, and magnitude just means that you just want the number. And then the negative here just tells me that it was clockwise. 10. This was I had to find one for conservation of angular momentum, and this was the best I could come up with, but I still really like it. And the most common thing, I mean, I saw angular momentum went up because L is equal to I omega. So the rationale for that one was that I went up because you added more mass to it, right? Because I is equal to mr squared. But that, while I does go up, I agree, I did go up, omega went down. right? And I did have people say that. I went up, omega went down, but they didn't tell me why. So you couldn't get full points for that. So they just say, oh, because of conservation momentum. But you need to say something about that the fact that this block hits on it, it's hitting and that hits it the other way. That makes this slow down, right? This disc slows down, but this block that had no angular momentum speeds up. So there is no, the key word was there was no external torque. It's like a sticky collision. The two objects both can change their momentum, but together they have conservation of momentum. So when I look at the momentum of this object, and then I stick them together, the total momentum stays the same because there's no external torque. The torque applied by this block is the same, they act on each other. Right? And that was key because there is a torque. I had people say, oh, there's no torque on it. Wait. If I have a disc and I apply a force like that, you're telling me, and the axis of rotation is like that, there's definitely a torque. It's just not an external torque because this one pushes on, the block pushes on the disc and the disc pushes on the block. One slows down, one speeds up, but we have conservation of angular momentum. That's it.